Why is Conor McGregor not being drug tested? How many more salty ring girls will lash out on Khabib's recent statement? Floyd Mayweather wants McGregor back in the ring. Are his expenses getting too high? According to sources, Conor McGregor is the only UFC athlete who has yet to be drug tested by USADA this year, despite his aspirations to return to the cage in the coming months. McGregor, 34, has been out of action since sustaining a horrific leg break injury against Dustin Poirier in July 2021, which forced him to miss over a year of training. Now the Irishman is on the verge of a comeback after recent social media footage showed him looking sharp in the gym, with potential bouts against Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje being discussed, and Floyd Mayweather also keen to bring him back over to boxing for another money spinner crossover event. Despite his impending return, McGregor is the only UFC fighter who has not undergone USADA testing in 2022, according to sources from American television station TSN. While he hasn't fought in over a year, USADA regulations specify that inactive athletes must stay involved in the testing program until they notify the UFC of their retirement from MMA or their contract is cancelled. As a result, McGregor would have been subject to the same rules as active fighters, raising questions regarding his apparent exclusion from testing this year. There are a few of the fighters who have been out for longer than McGregor but have nevertheless been subjected to random drug testing this year. Yuri Faber, a former bantamweight championship challenger, hasn't fought in nearly 3 years but has been tested 4 times in 2022. Although UFC legend John Jones last fought in February 2020, he has been drug tested 3 times this year. In 2022, Yana Kunitskaya, who most recently fought on the same night as McGregor, has been tested 3 times. McGregor has been randomly drug tested 62 times since the inception of USADA and has never failed a test. McGregor was tested the most by USADA in 2016 and 2021 when he visited 11 times by anti-doping organisation. The USADA website's drug test records were last updated in early September. Once UFC athletes are registered in the testing program, they are subject to testing even while not fighting until they notify the UFC of their retirement, their contract is cancelled, or they are otherwise withdrawn from the program, USADA stated in a statement. If an athlete returns to the UFC, they must stay in the USADA testing pool for 6 months before being allowed to participate. The UFC, like the World Anti-Doping Agency, may grant an exemption to the 6 months written notice rule in an exceptional circumstance or where strict applications of that rule would be manifestly unfair to the athlete. But in both cases, the athlete must provide at least 2 negative samples before returning to the competition under UFC rules. We do not remark on any individual athlete standing in the testing pool. Before his return from injury, McGregor has a variety of choices on the table, including a surprising boxing proposition from old opponent Mayweather. Mayweather also disclosed his ambitions to tempt McGregor into another fight next year in an exclusive conversation with Sportsman last week. And I quote, "I want to go out there this weekend in Tokyo and have fun against Mikaru Asakura," the boxing veteran remarked ahead of his latest performance in Japan this weekend. Then there's another show in Dubai in November, following by one with McGregor in 2023. We don't know if it's going to be an exhibition or a real fight, but there's been talks of both. I would prefer an exhibition. And further MMA news, Ibani Bridges has defended ring girls in the face of criticism about their participation in combat sports, telling naysayers, "Don't make my mind up for me." Last year, UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov sparked outrage when he called ring ladies the most worthless people in martial arts, prompting condemnation from Conor McGregor and Arielle Celeste. Despite this, IBF bantamweight world champion Bridges, a former ring girl before her amazing ascent in boxing, has advised the Dagestani to leave the argument. And in my personal opinion, ring girls bring no value to MMA or boxing, therefore I agree with Khabib. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.